to Trichur in Kerala to participate in a spiritual retreat for nearly 500 people every year. And I've been going there for the last 25 years. Last year I could not go due to digestive trouble. So this year I said I should go. So tomorrow I am flying to Cochin. So Swami Siddheswarananda phoned, since you are here in the evening, why don't you accept to address a meeting? I agreed. My main desire was, if there is a meeting, I can meet so many people whom I would like to when I come to Bangalore. And so that opportunity has come to me this evening. And then the subject which he has announced is Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother. Her birthday is coming on 30th of this month, a very great occasion. So this evening I shall spend my time with you dealing with this profound theme. When I was a young student in my village, I came across the Gospel of Ramakrishna. Some student gave it to me to read. That's the story I'm telling, 1924. That reading was a tremendous experience. A new world of thought and inspiration opened up by reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I was only 14 and a half years old at that time. Then came Vivekananda literature. Then at that time, books were not available even in cities, and in villages much less. With great difficulty we had to get these books, going to some neighboring town like Trichur. I got a beautiful hymn on Sharada Devi in simple, charming Sanskrit, composed by Swami Abhedananda, a fellow disciple of Swami Vivekananda. That beautiful hymn I committed to memory then and there in my village, which you recite here during the Arati. It's a beautiful hymn, beginning with Prakritim Paramam Abhayam Varadam. That is simple Sanskrit. And towards the end of the hymn, there is one shloka which I have been reciting every day in my mind all these 60, 70 years, because it contains beautiful ideas. Prasida Matar Vinayena Yache. O Mother, be gracious unto me, I beseech you. Nityam Tava Snehavati Suteshu. And your son, ever devoted to you, ever, an object of your love, Snehavati. Premaika Bindum Kiradadha Chitte Vishincha. Please put one drop of your love into my heart, which has been burning for these so many years. Kurunas Sushantam. Make my mind calm and peaceful. One drop of love from the mother can bring so much change in you and me. Now that verse constantly goes through in my mind all these 64 years. The whole stotra is beautiful. Pavitram charitam yasyaha pavitram jeevanam tatha pavitrata swarupinyai tasyai kurmo namo namaha. That woman who is the embodiment of purity and holiness, I salute her again and again. And the whole stava ends with this beautiful concluding verse. Sri Ramakrishna, the Guru of the world, Sharada Devi, the Divine Mother of all, placing our head at their feet, we salute them again and again. This is a beautiful verse, and that is what introduced me to the life and teachings of the Holy Mother. At that time there were no books on Holy Mother, not even articles. She was a shadowy figure behind the more prominent Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. In fact, it was the editor of the Modern Review, Ramananda Chatterjee, who wrote an article in 1920s, why this mission is not bringing to the people the story of this great woman's life. Like that, an article appeared at that time. Then came Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy in Madras, one of the great pioneers of social work for women, herself a doctor. She spoke on Holy Mother, 1932-33 at that time, in Madras Ramakrishna Mission. It was published as a booklet. So only much later, slowly, the mother began to be known to the people, and then came the centenary of the Holy Mother, 1953. That was celebrated all over the world. Our Foreign Deputy Minister Lakshmi Menon, she spoke in New York, the Anantha Society, on the Holy Mother on that occasion. From that time, number of books has come out on the Holy Mother. And the latest, the Gospel of the Holy Mother, Sharada Devi. Beautiful. Now, what is the significance of this Holy Mother, Sharada Devi, to humanity today? We are going to celebrate her actual birthday on the 30th. We are just 1 week earlier meeting here to contemplate on this great life. There is nothing striking in the personality or life of the Holy Mother. She is not an orator, she is not an organizer, she is not modern. All these things you will find connected with the Holy Mother, and yet she is winning hearts day by day in all parts of the world. In fact, it was an experience to me in a country like America, when people read a small book on the Holy Mother, they are immediately attracted. One lady in Washington read this book and phoned to me in Chicago. Swamiji, I am sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't contain myself. What is that? Please tell. I read your book on Holy Mother, and what a wonderful life. Now I meditate on the Mother all the time. And all the letters from that day to this day she writes always, Mother, Mother, Mother. That name of the Holy Mother is always in her letters there. Many others have told me, we don't know who this person is, but when I look at the face in the photo, there is something of a tremendous holiness and sacredness in the face. That kind of impression people have. I go around the world and I see how many hearts the Holy Mother is conquering day by day, much more in the West than even here. What is the reason for this? In the world today, there is something lacking, something so important, and yet we are lacking it. Many writers refer to it as love. There is want of love in the heart of man. A man like Bertrand Russell, agnostic, he also writes, the world is in a mess. It can be changed only by a simple thing. We must learn how to manufacture love in our hearts. We love only ourselves. We don't know how to love others. Sorokin of the Harvard University also wrote the same thing. The spirit of altruism or love of people we are lacking. So civilization is in trouble. This is this situation all around the world. The capacity to love we have forgotten. We have developed strong individualities. We center everything in ourselves. That's why there is breakup of human relationships. Enduring human relationships are becoming less and less. Enduring. For a day, half a day, we can keep relations. But enduring human relationship can be built only on the basis of love. Therefore, this kind of a drabness in human life, in modern civilization, we are experiencing. In that context, when they come across a person like the Holy Mother and they read her life, we find this lady is the very embodiment of love. What we call in our own Indian tradition, the mother heart. The Holy Mother represents the beating of the mother heart. That mother heart which we discovered at the heart of this universe and learned to call God by the name the Divine Mother. India alone has given such a high status to women by calling God himself as the Divine Mother. Adya Shakti, Parashakti, Devi. This is how we speak of that divine personality. None of these Western religions, Semitic religions, have any place for God as Mother. Only in India that place is there. But today that is attracting Christian churches also. The Catholic Church had no place for mother in the beginning. After about 6th or 7th century AD, slowly they brought in Mary, mother of Jesus, as a focus of love for God as a divine personality. But after 1,000 years, when Martin Luther came, Reformation appeared, they again sent away Mary. We don't want Mary again. We want only a masculine God, all true. That you can see since then, the entire Protestant movement had been away from the concept of God as Mother. But in this 20th century, a big change is coming on the Christian denominations. The Scottish Presbyterian Church, which is a Puritan church, passed a resolution in their conference that hereafter we shall call God not only as Father but also as Mother. The Indian influence is spreading in all parts of the world. Primitive people, pre-Christian people had the concept of Mother. Mother Goddess was very much worshipped in the Mediterranean countries when Christianity arose. Christianity destroyed all these concepts of the Mother then. But now the Christian heart feels this desire for looking on God as Mother, which has been cultivated in India from the Vedic times up to our own time. So this kind of a long experience we have of the Divine Mother. We have the concept in Kalidasa of Shiva and Parvati as the parents of the universe. Parvati is equally the mother as Shiva is the father. Vadarthaviva samprattau, Vadartha patipattaye, Jagata pitarau vande, Parvati parameshwarau. What a beautiful expression. Jagata pitarau, parents of the universe. Parvati parameshwara. So we felt a pulse of a mother's heart in the heart of the universe. We wanted to come in touch with that heart. So many of our great leaders, great spiritual teachers were very much devoted to the Divine Mother. Recently also, we had that wonderful experience of Sri Ramakrishna becoming a devotee of God as Mother, Kali, the Divine Mother, Kali. He comes to revive this beautiful idea, the mother heart. Our own society, do we worship God as Mother? We also lost the capacity to love in our hearts. Our hearts became dry, century after century. Men's hearts became dry, even women's hearts became dry. That you can see in our recent history. Without that dry heart, how could you practice untouchability for all these centuries? If there is a mother's heart, there could never be untouchability in this country. But the mother heart was not there. And so we had to pass through these centuries where dry-hearted people talking religion without any expression of love for the people, every mother loving only her own children, not caring for anybody else. What kind of mother is it? Where is that mother heart in India? We lost it. If the mother heart was there, there would have been no suffering in this country. It is, after all, love and human concern that nourishes and cherishes other human beings, including the animals. We lost that mother heart, both from men as well as from women. That was a wonderful experience we had, for which we paid a heavy price, but in the modern period, in order to bring to us the force of this profound concept of God as Mother, Sri Ramakrishna came, worshipped the Divine Mother, realized that wonderful truth, and brought along with him another personality, Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother, in whom you find the mother heart once again throbbing in its purest form. Holy Mother, you can speak for hours together. I shall concentrate this evening on this particular aspect, what the world is going to gain by having an example of a mother heart in a person like Sharada Devi. We in India need it. The world outside needs it. What does Sharada Devi show to us in this connection? You will find every man and every woman has a capacity to love. That mother heart is there in all men and women, not only in women, but also in men. But in women, it is much more expressive because of genetic reasons. She has to bring forth children and then care for the children, and therefore the mother heart is always there. But this concept of mother has two dimensions. Our people today, particularly our women, must understand this two-dimensional aspect of motherhood. One is called genetic motherhood. The other is called spiritual motherhood. Any woman can become a genetic mother. Any feminine of any species can become a genetic mother, through which the child comes out of the mother's body after she has nourished it for some time within herself. That's called genetic motherhood. So our people are very good so far as genetic motherhood is concerned. We have got plenty of children. We want to restrict also the number of children today. We want to have lesser population. So genetic motherhood, we have been very, very strong in expressing all these centuries. We want to put a little stop to that for some time. But the spiritual mother is something wonderful. We want to find out how we can become a mother in the spiritual sense of the term, the caring attitude, love, compassion, spirit of service. That's called the spiritual aspect of motherhood. It is that kind of motherhood we lacked in India. Genetic motherhood we had plenty. Spiritual motherhood we lost. That's why we ill-treated so many millions of people. I often tell how women suffered in India from men and more from women themselves. Remember that. Women have suffered in India not from men but from women. Women having no capacity to love other women, other women's children, etc. And the peculiar situation which find all over India of a difficult mother-in-law, as they call it. Why? There is no love in the heart. Only genetic love. The spiritual love is nowhere found. That's called the typical mother-in-law of India. All over it, north and south, all the same. I often used to say, Sharada Devi has come to transform every mother-in-law into mother-in-love. That is a big project. How to transform our women into personalities full of love and concern. What a beautiful concept of love. Love which is not genetically limited, physically limited, organically limited. It is infinite expansion. What's the concept of that love? That is how God is defined. God's love is not genetically limited. It is infinite love. So in all our Bhakti Shastras, you find God being defined. As in the Bible also, in the Old Testament and New, God is love. That is the definition. So, in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Sa Anirvachaneya Prema Swarupaha. God is inexpressible love. That's the nature of God. Now we worship such a God, we take His name, but we don't know how to express that love. That love got arrested at a particular dimension, at the genetic dimension. Beyond that, it could not go. Now we need a change. The fullest development of the human personality, where this love can find expression in every act of life, in every interhuman relationship. That is very much needed in India today. Because there is no love for other human beings, we have become selfish, self-centered, and think of the corruption that is going on in society. What is behind this corruption? You ask that question. Behind the corruption is love of oneself and not caring for anybody else. So you cannot change this corrupt situation by passing rules and regulations, Parliament acting laws, etc., enacting laws, etc. But a little change in our attitude, a little manifestation of our higher qualities can make a big change. It is here we have to stress this point that spiritual motherhood must come to men and women, and much more than women, because it is natural to them. They have arrested that manifestation of spiritual motherhood. They allowed only genetic motherhood to come out. You have seen among cows and other dogs and animals, when their own children come, they lick it and take all care. When other children come, they bite it and bark at it and send it away. Similarly, our people also did the same thing. My little child I love. I don't care for anybody else. That attitude became such an obsession. We have paid a heavy price for that little-mindedness in foreign invasions, subjections. We couldn't collect people together and hold them together. That holding together is only through human concern. That human concern vanished from India. Brilliant minds we had, big intellect we had, but the heart was not functioning. So much of dryness came in. Swamiji said, the dry heart of India is writ large in the way we treat human beings. Even the servant at home, we treat very badly. Men treat them badly, and women treat them still more worse. Why? If women had heart, mother heart, will they ever do it? But they did. I have seen servants telling me, I am prepared to stay with the husband, but not with his wife. She is very troublesome. That's how we'll say. Why? To answer that question, the genetic is prominent, the spiritual side is gone. Though we go to all the temples, we worship everywhere, but the human transformation did not come thereby. That chapter is ended with the arrival of the Holy Mother on the scene. A new type of man and woman will come with the capacity to love, to go beyond genetic limitation, to express one's love in acts and modes of service, dedication. What a wonderful change will come on the human situation. Externally, everything is fine. Technical development is wonderful, but it makes man a machine, mechanizing the human system. The only answer is developing love in the heart of man. No machine can express love, only the human being can do. That is a spiritual element in human life. So we need a tremendous expansion of the heart of man with the capacity to love, to take affections in others, to serve and care other people. We need inspiration for this great transformation. Books are there, plenty, but we need a tremendous example in this modern period. Just like harmony of religions, we have taught in our great scriptures, but there is still conflict in religion. We want a teacher who will represent the spirit of harmony. Ramakrishna came, the very symbol of harmony, of perfect concord between various religions. By his own experiments, by his own experiences, he has built up this wonderful truth, which is a truth taught to us from Rigveda onwards. Similarly, he needed a personality who will be just the emblem, the symbol of the mother's heart. Where is that mother heart? Not at all limited by genetic limitations. The answer comes. Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother, whose heart embraced everyone in this world. Her own life was so circumscribed, but her heart was never circumscribed. When you study the story of Ramakrishna and the Holy Mother, one great truth will come out. Externally, they were very ordinary. And from that point of view, the Holy Mother was still more ordinary. Ramakrishna at least had some sort of personality, some impact upon people who came to him. But the Holy Mother, simple, rustic in simplicity, not at all educated, extremely without anything to show out. That is the nature of Sharada Devi outwardly. How can she have any message for a modern girl, well-educated, full of energy, full of pulsing with new aspirations? How can this Holy Mother be an inspiration to a girl like me? Today's girls can ask that question, and they will get the answer. They will get the answer with such a tremendous force that they will see in the Holy Mother the most modern force. The world needs it, and she provides it. That experience will come to us when we study the Holy Mother. Externally ordinary, inwardly something stupendous, something tremendous. That is Ramakrishna, that is Sharada Devi. Sharada Devi more than Sri Ramakrishna. Externally very ordinary, rustic simplicity, but inwardly some profound dimension was there. Now I wish our people give a thought to this particular way of developing one's personality. When I was a high school boy, not even high school, primary school, the headmaster comes to the class and says along general knowledge class, boys, we must have one motto before us. What is that? And he said, plain living and high thinking, he said. Most of the boys couldn't understand ABC, what he said. But that sentence appealed to me immensely at that time. Plain living and high thinking. What a beautiful idea. I began to think about it. And that became a big, what you call, flaming thought after I read Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Holy Mother, Gandhiji, and I saw these people. That's correct. Plain living, high thinking. What are we today? Just the opposite. High living, plain thinking, and no thinking also. You can see the difference between the two. Just in the India Today weekly or current issue, you find rich people full of black money spending lakhs and lakhs for marriage purposes, taking a whole hotel on rent, all sorts of showy things you can read there. Now what does it show? Absolute emptiness. That's all. But that's going on. They think it is high class. Not in this country. Not hereafter. When we have had a Ramakrishna Vivekananda, when our people understand what these two mean, our whole approach will be changed. For some time this feudal attitude will continue. So here you can see that absolute simplicity, but inwardly some infinite dimension. Romarola, the French biographer of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, he was not just a writer, he was an artist. A man who wrote a book on Beethoven, who got Nobel Prize for his book on John Christopher. He was an artistic mind. Now men like Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, we need an artistic mind to penetrate the exterior and see what is inside. That had Pomerola had. So he describes Ramakrishna in the introduction to the life of Sri Ramakrishna. He says, Ramakrishna's external life was set in a very limited frame, far away from the currents and cross-currents of the contemporary world. That's the first sentence. External life of Ramakrishna was very ordinary. The priest of a Kali temple. That's the Ramakrishna. But the next sentence is wonderful. But his inner life embraced the whole multiplicity of men and gods. What a beautiful sentence. Inner life of Ramakrishna touched every one of you, every spiritual ideal, inwardly infinite, outwardly very ordinary. What a beautiful message for men and women in this modern age. Same sentence applied to the Holy Mother. Outwardly very ordinary, inwardly extraordinary. It is that extraordinary personality that is slowly invading the hearts and minds of people all over the world today. Imagine a simple village girl married at the age of 5 to Sri Ramakrishna, had no education. That woman today commands the attention of big people in various parts of the world. What is there to attract in this wonderful lady? Externally nothing, but something wonderful is there. What the world is seeking today, hungry for, is love. And they look at Holy Mother and study her life, the very embodiment of love. And the purest love in the world is the mother's love. Wife, daughter, all these have love. But the mother's love has no comparison. That mother's love, remove all that is limiting, like genetic limitation, etc. Let it remain in its own pure form, infinite form. That's what we call the Divine Mother. It is that personality that found expression in the inner life of Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother. She was so modern in her thinking. The modern woman or girl will be able to discover it when she will read the life of the Holy Mother. What is it being modern? There are certain virtues and graces that make a person modern. We have to understand that very, very carefully. Many of our young people do not understand what is being modern. If you behave in a modern way, modern dress, modern gadgets, that's how you become modern. That doesn't make anybody modern. That is a cheap type of modernity. If I can carry a transistor radio in the hand going about, I am modern. I am seeing sometimes even the most backward communities in India, they carry all these gadgets nowadays. They're all modern. But that doesn't make them modern. That's an external type of modernity. What is being truly modern, we shall learn when we study the life of the Holy Mother. That will come to you when you study the wonderful teachings, the wonderful way she behaved with people. There you can see the modern touch. If gadgets can make us modern, I think I often refer to the Delhi Zoo. They took me one day there. I found air-conditioned accommodation for tigers, bears, monkeys. They are all modern because they are using gadgets. But the mind is not modern. Today we must realize it is the mind that is modern or feudal or democratic or old-fashioned. The mind. Where is the mind? Where is that inner life? There you will see in the Holy Mother the most modern mind. Two things constitute what is truly modern. One is a scientific thinking, a scientific attitude and temper. The second is the humanistic impulse, the capacity to love everyone. These two constitute the best of modern ideology. From this point of view, you will see in the Holy Mother that modernity in the true sense of the term, outwardly ordinary, inwardly infinitely modern. I can give only two episodes from the life of the Holy Mother to show how modern she was. Now, you make a distinction between old-fashioned people in our society and modern people in society. You say old-fashioned people, they believed in untouchability, caste, exclusiveness, and many superstitions also. The modern man, he says, I don't believe in all this. I don't believe even these superstitions also. Caste, exclusiveness, and many superstitions also. The modern man, he says, I don't believe in all this. I don't believe even these superstitions also. In that way, we make a distinction. The old type and a new type. The feudal old type and the modern type. We want the modern type. Vivekananda said, my message goes to the modern people of India, modern youth of India. They alone can understand my message. Ramakrishna himself said, I want the modern youth. They alone can understand what I have to convey. That's why he gathered around himself wonderful youths, college students, school students. They came in the Lakshmikutty temple. One of whom was Narendra, a modern youth, typically modern. Now from that point of view, being modern is very important. We want to bring India to the modern period. We don't want to live in that feudal period of history. Be modern is language. Ramakrishna will use, Vivekananda will use, Holy Mother also will use. But you must understand what is meant by being modern. Don't become modern in the cheap sense. Any fool can become modern in the cheap sense. The best way of becoming modern is to have a thinking capacity, discriminating capacity, a scientific temper and attitude, and combine it with an infinite heart and compassion, that humanistic impulse embracing the whole of humanity, including the animal world as well. There you have the best of the modern type, and it is there you find Sharada Devi truly modern, though outwardly she belonged to the old tradition. Sister Nivedita, who was so intimate with the Holy Mother, in her famous book, The Master as I Saw Him, it is a masterly book written by a masterly mind on a great master. The Master as I Saw Him. From my young days I must have read it several times. Her language is powerful. Characterization is simply marvelous, bringing out the gist of a profound idea. She has such a wonderful capacity for it. So in that book, she is putting this question about Sharada Devi. Is she the end of an old order or the beginning of a new order? She looks both. She can be like an old woman, simple, natural, that kind of old Indian womanhood we had. But she is also very modern. In what way? One example I wish to convey to you, and that is how she responded to Swami Vivekananda's great plan of having this Irish woman, Nivedita, Miss Margaret Noble, accepted by the Indian society. When he was speaking in England, Miss Margaret Noble came in touch with Swamiji. She was an atheistic, agnostic type of mind, very brilliant intellect, and full of courage. That was Miss Margaret Noble. Hearing Swamiji's lecture, very first lecture, her whole mind changed. This Vedanta, so rational, so great, I must follow that. I must follow that. The second lecture when she went, she addressed Swamiji as my master, what you call guru in our country, my master. And she told, I want to give my whole life for your mission in India. Imagine a girl, a lady in England at that time. We are a backward nation here. They are our rulers. But she said, I want to be part of your mission, especially your work for Indian women. I want to renounce everything and come to India. Swamiji was worried. She may come, but will the country accept her? After all, she is a Mlacha, and we are very orthodox at that time. Swamiji wanted her to come, but he was full of fear that India may not accept her. Our society was so backward at that time, narrow-minded at that time. Even people going to foreign countries were removed from the community. How many people have been ostracized even at that time? That was the time 1898, 99, that time. But Swamiji thought at that time, well, all right, I shall introduce her to Sharada Devi. She represents the old orthodoxy, externally speaking. And if Sharada Devi will accept this Nivedita or Miss Margaret Noble, I am sure the whole Indian society will accept. That was Swamiji's calculation. So Nivedita came to Calcutta from England, and a day was fixed that Swamiji will take Miss Margaret Noble to Holy Mother's house in Calcutta, introduce her to Holy Mother. Now just see the situation. They are not living 1988. Now it is 88 ending. I am telling 1 century ago how conditions were at that time. You must remember that situation. So Swamiji took her and both entered Holy Mother's room. Here is Margaret. Please accept. And what did the mother do? She got up from her bed, caught hold of the hand of Miss Margaret Noble like a daughter, made her sit by her side. Swamiji's heart was pacified. Now this lady will be accepted by the whole of Indian society. I have nothing to fear. Now what is the nature of that mind of Sharada Devi that could respond to this kind of a situation? Can an old-fashioned woman do it? The most modern mind alone can do it. And Nivedita cannot have enough words to describe the greatness of Sharada Devi. She lived with her and she understood what a profound greatness is embodied in this frail feminine form. And so in her life, that master, as I saw him, and some other books, you find plenty of references to the Holy Mother. She is far away in America one day to collect some money for her girls' school in Calcutta, Nivedita. Then she went to a church to pray, and she writes from there a letter to Holy Mother. Mother, I sat in meditation. Only your face came into my mind. What calmness, what purity, what love, what compassion, a real mother heart. That was what came to me. That's the letter she writes to the Holy Mother. So Nivedita is a remarkable example of this touch of the Holy Mother. She is the most modern, and yet she found in the Holy Mother a more modern mind, and she writes letters to the Holy Mother. How does she sign? My dear Mother, then letter, then finally, yours, foolish little girl, Nivedita. That's how she is. In Bengali you call it Cookie. Cookie means little girl. Yours, foolish cookie, Nivedita. That intimate way of writing, like a child before the Holy Mother. Where is Holy Mother, illiterate, uneducated village woman? Where is this brilliant intellect, powerful, dealing with intellectuals in England at the time? How could she become like a child sitting before the Holy Mother? What is that fascination? If you ask that question, you will find that this pure love she found embodied in that form of Sharada Devi. Everything the mother's touch is a blessing to her. So that is how Sharada Devi showed her intense modern mind to respond to the modern situation without any accoutrement of education or any such kind of external help. This is one example. The second example is equally impressive and will be a great lesson to all of us in India today. She was in the village, Yarambati, and there was some housework, building work going on. So some laborers were employed to do that work. Among them was a Muslim by name Amjad. He had a criminal record earlier. Now he is a laborer. One day, the mother decided to feed all these laborers. Very important, even in mother's life, I am telling. We shall feed all these laborers. And so, food was prepared, and all of them sat, including Amjad. He is sitting there, Muslim. Now, the mother has a niece of the old type, like all our women were, who believed in untouchability, who were very, very, particular about their cleanliness and holiness and purity, etc. So that girl was serving to these people. And when it is Amjad and others, they are untouchable, unapproachable attitude at that time. They are throwing the puri from a distance towards the plate, just like that. Don't go near, then you will be polluted. So from a distance, throwing like this. Now picture to your mind this event. This has happened million times in our Indian households. Even today it is happening. But imagine that situation. The mother is sitting there. Watching this, the mother protested. What are you doing? Is this the way to serve people? How can anybody eat when you do like this? She snatched the vessel from that niece. Then went and sat near these laborers, including Amjad, like a mother sitting before the child, putting one by one. In Bengali you say, Beta, tumi khao, please eat like that. And then putting like this. That niece could not stand this. Ma, what are you doing? You will lose your caste. Don't do like this. She is telling. The mother looks at her. What do you mean? What is my caste? They are all my children. See the language. They are all my children. Then comes another scene. Finish the meal. Anjad is removing the leaf. Mother said, no, leave it there. Leave it there. And mother goes to remove the uchishta, the leaf. And this niece comes and catches hold of mother's hand. Mother, you will lose your caste. We shall be very bad in our society. Mother, hand is caught like this. Again, she looks at her. This Amjad is as much my child as Swami Sharada, the General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Mission. This child is as much mine as that other child. This is the language of the Holy Mother. Now that language and that idiom can come only from the most modern mind. None of those old feudal minds can produce that kind of an expression. So in that act you can see this wonderful heart of a mother which could not be obstructed by caste and creed and race, any one of these considerations. What can be more modern than this particular situation? And so that Amjad said, I have not received this love even from my own mother, the love I am getting from you. What a beautiful expression. Swami Vivekananda used to say, if only our people had a little more heart as they had their intellect, our history would have been different. There would have been none of these problems of undeveloped human society, arrested human development. None of this would have been there because we did not have that heart, that dry heart we had. We could talk a lot, but when it comes to action, we are nowhere there. You are separate, you are separate, you are separate. I am superior, I am superior. With that attitude, we continued for centuries together. Even with foreign invasions, we were all insulted by foreigners. Even then, we sat heavily on the lower classes in India. Why did that mother heart? What had happened to it? It had dried up and gone away. The brain was there, the heart was not there. That makes for hypocrisy. If there is brain and no heart, you become a hypocrite. We have got a lot of hypocrisy in our society. Now only we are learning to understand, yes, there's a new way of looking at things. We can express our profound Vedantic ideas of the oneness of humanity. They're all one, the same Atman in every being. That teaching we kept in books, tied up, never allowed to practice even for a day. Today we are taking out these ideas and we get inspiration from men like, personalities like Holy Mother, Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji. They have taught us these are not truths to be kept in books and discussed, but to live, to create a human situation where man feels his dignity, her dignity protected by society. All this needs expansion of love and human concern. The heart of the mother must beat once again. The whole history of India today, in this modern period, is this effort to break down that barrier between man and to release the love that is hidden in the heart of man and let it build up a new Indian nation, well integrated, without any consideration of caste or community or sex. That is our objective, but the power that will help us to implement this objective is a power that is found embodied in a personality like the Holy Mother, infinite love and compassion. Without any education, the rustic simplicity, and yet she could come to the most modern attitudes and inspire the most modern minds. American women used to come at that time and stay with her. They have found in this lady outwardly very ordinary, inwardly the most modern. They all bow down to that wonderful personality, the Sharada Devi. So when you read the life of Holy Mother and her teachings, fortunately, some people used to note down whatever Mother used to say in answer to people's questions. So fortunately, we had such people, about half a dozen people. Mayer Kotha, in Bengali they say, Kotha means talks. Mother's talks, conversations. Mayer Kotha in Bengali. So some women, not to men also. But those talks give you a picture of the Holy Mother in the most natural life setting. She is a housewife. She never became a sannyasi. She was a householder. Ramakrishna also said, remain in the household. And so she showed how she can be many things in one. Housewife, householder, a guru, and a mother, all combined. In her life you will find she has initiated many devotees with mantra. After Ramakrishna's passing away, our own Deputy Commissioner of Bangalore at that time, M.A. Naranayengar, who became Swami Siddheswarananda, he was a disciple of the Holy Mother very early, 1916, 14 at that time. She loved him very much. Now, you initiate a person, then you become a guru. Naturally, people look up to the guru with great respect and reverence. But in the Holy Mother, the idea that I am the guru of anybody never came once. She only said, I am the mother of all. I am not the guru of anybody. And what happened then? People go to their Ambati, her village home, and they get initiation from the Holy Mother. Then she goes to the kitchen, prepares food for this disciple, then feeds him. When the food is over, she removes the leaves and washes the place. And the disciples protest, Mother, you are our guru. What are you doing? It will be a great sin on us. And Mother smiles and said, who told you I am your guru? I am your mother. I am your mother. I am serving you as a mother. Now this wonderful expression of the mother heart, that could go even beyond the guru concept. That is something extraordinary. When we speak of the Divine Mother of the universe, we are referring to that infinite heart pulsing in the universe through the Divine Centre. In the Holy Mother, you could get some impression of that wonderful Divine heart pulsing in the universe. The Divine Mother, here find infinite love and compassion. So many people who have committed sins, who have committed crimes will come. Mother will not reject anybody. I will take you. I will take you. This is the story you will find in the conversations of the Holy Mother. In Shankaracharya's stotra, the famous stotra, when I was a boy, I memorized it. Devya Aparadha Kshamapana Stotra. My asking forgiveness of the Divine Mother for all the sins I have committed. Devi Aparadha Kshamapana Stotra. There, this shloka occurs there. Jagadamba Vichitramatvakim Paripurna Karunasti Chenmai Aparadha Paramparabratam Nahi Mata Samupekshate Sutam. Never can you describe a mother better than what you find in this verse of Shankaracharya. Mother, what is the wonder that though I have done a series of crimes and sins, you don't reject me at all. You accept me all the time. Aparadha paramparavratam. Continuously I have been doing evil. Nahi mata samapekshate swatam. Mother doesn't forsake the child, whatever the child may have done. So, in Holy Mother's, that stotra which I recite in the beginning, one line is this, that even though I am dirty, my mind is dirty, Mother, you take me in your lap and you protect me. What wonder is there? You have that infinite mother heart. Now here you can see the wonderful idea of the mother heart, which we need very much in India and the world outside. The last shloka of Shankara's stotra is Matsama Pataki Nasti Papagni Tutsamanahi Evam Jnatva Mahadevi Yatha Yogyam Tatha Guru. Mother, none who has done more sins and crimes than myself. And you are there, the supreme redeemer of our sinners. That is our relationship. Keeping this in view, do whatever is proper to me. This is the last line in Shankara's Stotra. So in the Holy Mother, you find this quality of the mother heart. This country in India today, we want to raise the millions and millions of people to human dignity. We have been sitting tight on them. We have exploited them. We have destroyed their manhood and womanhood. Millions of them. How can we change it? Not through mere scientific technology, but a scientific technology strengthened by the mother heart of the citizens of India. Then we can achieve great things here. Go to the West, they have lost the power of love. Husband and wife, rarely that love, capacity to love. So marriage breaks down. Children have no parents at all, or rather every child will have 10 parents. Therefore nobody will care when you have too many parents, So you can find the difficulty there. They are feeling the difficulty. So that how to protect a marriage. There is first of all liberation movement by women. They feel they have been suppressed by men. One of the great leaders of the liberation movement was, even today she is alive, Betty Friedan. Her famous book, The Feminine Mystic, a very charmingly written book it is. She started this liberation movement, addressing young women. Leave the kitchen, go to the world outside, assert your rights, all these things she started. 20 years after her liberation movement, she has written a second book. It's called The Second Phase. What does she say there? She is very much disillusioned. Women have not got any liberation at all. They have got jobs, they have got this, they have got that, but no liberation. Because she says, the family is broken down, nobody to care for children. How can there be liberation when you have this kind of situation? Then she says, there is no woman's liberation apart from men's liberation. They must go together. These are all new ideas against what she said 20 years ago, the integrity of the family and liberation of men and women together, not separately. It can never happen. Now all these things you find in that second book, the new second phase, by interviewing many women in America in high positions. They say, we don't find at all our personality. Nobody recognizes it. Formerly, they used to call me the wife of somebody. Now they call me the director of a particular company. My personality has no place anywhere. There's a language she has used there. In that book, Chidananda referred to women in the modern age. I have given profuse quotations from this second book of Betty Friedan to show we in India do not have a liberation movement because we are eager for liberation. Men want it, women want it. It's only a question of implementing our liberation. Even today we will treat women, especially in many areas, will find women are being ill-treated, no respect is given. It is there. And the burning of one's own bride, plenty going on all over India today. So we have got a long way to go. But inspiration is there. The sooner we take that inspiration, the better for us, so that we shall have a healthy human social order. At present it is not healthy at all. Absolutely unhealthy. The amount of evil that exists in our society today is simply stupendous. We can't wash it away by legislation. We can wash it away by human transformation, inward transformation. It is that transformation that will come when we come in touch with the personality and teachings of Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother. It is a great thing we can expect in the future, and this will be also the blessing that will flow to the Western world as well. All over the world, there's a great desire to read these books. I have a guest just now in my center from Spain. He's a Swedish person. In Spain, people are asked, please give us books of Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Holy Mother. We are eager to read. We are eager to read. We want it in Spanish. We are telling them. So just now, I got a paper from Soviet land, an article written by E.P. Chenishev, whom I knew very intimately when I went to Moscow. He's a good Hindi scholar. He is writing how the scholars of Soviet Russia have formed a Vivekananda society in Moscow. What induced us to get this society started there? And he writes, every day scholars are writing, we want to be associated with the Vivekananda society. Something extraordinary. We are not going to do it there. They are themselves doing. What must be the attraction of these great teachers, that people take them in without being taught by India. They themselves do it. So I am telling, when Holy Mother will go to Moscow through this kind of Vivekananda society, you will see how many people will respond. What a wonderful personality. In America, it is going on. Europe and Australia, these books are going on. People are reading them and getting inspired. But the biggest thing is in India itself. All that is petty, mean, the genetically limited mind must go. Expansion. That's what we need. The heart must go and touch millions of hearts in society. That is how we can build a great India where Hindu, Muslim, Christian, atheist, agnostic, everybody has a place. We know how to live together. That objective, if we are to realize in India, we need inspiration, not from books, but from persons, from examples. That is what Holy Mother is today to all of us, the expansion of the mother heart, without any distinction between man and man. And here, my heart beats in tune with your heart. That kind of harmony we have to establish in our society, and I am sure in the next century you will see the fruit of all these present studies. More and more people are reading, studying. Out of 100, 10 at least will catch the spirit of the literature that you study. Thus it goes on, spreading. A new character comes to the nation. All this evil, like corruption, etc., will go away. Because as I told you, corruption comes because you love only yourself. You don't know how to love others. When I start loving others, I'm here, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? There will be a natural attitude in my mind. That spirit will come to the people when they read this kind of literature. So I'm very happy to be with you this evening and to spend this 1 hour in meditation on the Holy Mother. It's a wonderful meditation. The whole world needs it, and we need it much more. That Divine Mother of the universe must come and manifest in us as pure love, compassion, spirit of service, caring. How many are suffering? Why should a dog die in my country of hunger? Vivekananda asked that question for the first time in India. We could go to temple, go and ring the bells, all this we could do. But we never asked why people are hungry, why people are starving, why animals are starving. Something is wrong with us. Our attitudes are wrong. That is a great change that must come on the horizon of our vast population. It is bound to come because, as I often say, maladies are there in all parts of the world. We have our own share of maladies. But India has one unique situation. Along with maladies, we have got remedies also. Apply the remedy, the malady will go. Here is that remedy. These great centers of inspiration, Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji, Holy Mother, a Ramakrishna who wiped the latrine of a pariah when he was doing sadhanas, saying, Mother, please remove from my mind the feeling I am superior as a Brahmana. Make me the servant of all. Now this is the example Ramakrishna placed before us, the example Holy Mother placed before us. Let us inspire ourselves with these great examples of today. Past we had examples. like Krishna and others. But today also we have these examples, and we are sure that we shall achieve that tremendous human transformation which is the meaning of the modern chapter of Indian history. The long history of India, we are writing a new chapter, modern chapter. There you will find infinite diffusion of mother heart in every department of life. Animals as much as human beings will feel the touch of the mother heart, for which only India produced a Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swami Vivekananda, and others in the political field like Gandhiji, infinite mother heart of Mahatma Gandhi. So this is our heritage. This is our wealth. Let us utilize that wealth. That parents give this wealth to their children that are coming in the new generation. This is the importance of the Holy Mother's life and teaching. Thank you all. Namaskaram.
Friends, just now we have heard a very eloquent speech by revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj on Sri Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother. In such a short time, Maharaj has explained the most sublime teachings of Holy Mother. How Sri Sharada Devi stood for the manifestation of the spiritual motherhood in this country and also abroad. So she has shown to the world that love can transcend all limitations and can embrace all humanity. Though she looked externally very ordinary, inwardly she was extraordinary, having infinite spiritual dimension. So that has been translated in her life, in her actual practice, how she manifested all those divine qualities like compassion, service, and perfect love. On behalf of the ashrama and on your behalf, I heartily thank Revered Maharaj for having given this fine discourse today. Thank you all.